Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're looking at something that is absolutely, fundamentally changing how hotels and restaurants design their spaces. We are going to break down how East Coast Mural Pros is transforming the hospitality industry with some seriously innovative direct-to-wall printing technology. Because, if you're in the hospitality game, you already know the stakes are incredibly high, and every single detail matters.
So let's start with the really crucial question that pretty much every general manager or hospitality designer wrestles with. When a guest walks into a property, what actually makes them remember how that place made them feel? Is it the perfect lighting in the lobby? Is it the flawless customer service at the front desk? Or is it the immediate atmosphere? The story told on the walls the absolute second they step through the door. Because honestly, that first visual impression almost always dictates the mood for their entire stay.
Okay, here's how we're going to break this all down today. First, aesthetic impact. Second, engineering and durability. Third, seamless logistics. And fourth, the investment.
But before I get to those four pillars, we kind of need to understand the technology itself, right? Direct-to-wall printing is exactly what it sounds like. Custom, large-format graphics printed straight onto the walls. What makes this so revolutionary, and honestly why East Coast Mural Pros are the true industry experts here, is that the process bonds the ink directly into the surface itself. So there are no seams, there's no peeling vinyl. It uses low-odor inks, and it completely avoids all those frustrating pitfalls of traditional wallpaper or vinyl wraps that hospitality professionals just totally dread dealing with.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, aesthetic impact, also known as the Instagram factor. The sheer versatility of this application is just incredible. Lobbies and check-in areas are obvious, right? It's the very first thing every single guest sees, but it goes so much further than that. You can create a stunning, bold backdrop in restaurants and bars, which gives a space its own totally distinct mood. You can add a feature wall in guest rooms and suites that literally lifts the whole room from standard to luxury. Even plain, boring transit spaces like hallways and elevator banks suddenly become an extension of your brand's story. Whether it's an event lounge or a calming scene in the spa and pool areas, these direct-to-wall murals work across the entire guest journey. They make the property feel like somewhere truly special, not just another beige room.
Now, here's a massive hidden benefit for your bottom line. When a strong wall becomes the photo spot, those photos actually do your marketing for free. By creating a highly memorable, totally Instagrammable aesthetic, you're giving your guests a reason to pull out their phones and share your space with the entire world. And that organic word-of-mouth marketing, that is absolutely priceless. East Coast Mural Pros really understands that in today's hospitality landscape, your walls need to do a lot more than just hold up the ceiling. They need to tell a captivating story.
But listen, a great design actually has to survive reality, right? Which brings us to Section 2, engineering and durability, built for heavy traffic. Look, a hotel lobby isn't a museum. It takes a literal beating every single day. Just think about what your walls actually endure. Heavy rolling luggage constantly bumping into corners, massive crowds squeezing through narrow spaces, aggressive daily scrubbing from your cleaning crews, and just years and years of nonstop use. If your stunning new aesthetic gets destroyed in 3 months, well, that's a failed investment.
And here you can see the glaring problem with traditional vinyl. It just sits on a film. Over time, in a busy hotel, those edges are inevitably going to catch, bubble, and peel. It's just a matter of time, for sure. But look at direct-to-wall ink. Because the ink bonds directly into the wall itself, it is completely seam-free. There's literally nothing to catch, peel, or bubble. Plus, the surface wipes clean super easily, which makes it the absolute most durable choice for those high-traffic zones we just talked about.
Okay, moving right along to Section 3, seamless logistics, installing without closing down. 5. I want you to let that number sink in for a second. Most single walls are completely installed in under 5 hours. Think about traditional renovations for a minute, and the days or sometimes literally weeks of downtime they usually require. 5 hours is a total game changer.
So what does 5 hours actually mean for your daily operations? Well, it means zero disruption. Because the direct-to-wall process uses low-odor inks with absolutely zero curing time, East Coast Mural Pros can schedule these installations off-peak, between bookings, or completely overnight. The result? You literally never have to close off a section of your hotel, and you never lose valuable room nights or restaurant covers. For larger projects, they just simply split the job across different areas, so your property stays completely open, welcoming guests the entire time. And check this out. Here's another huge logistical nightmare, totally solved. When it's time to refresh your concept, or maybe update for a new season, or undergo a complete brand refresh, the process is incredibly agile. You just paint right over the old mural with standard primer, print the new design directly onto that fresh canvas, and you instantly enjoy the updated space.
There's absolutely no messy stripping of old wallpaper, no sticky residue left behind, and no massive cleanup. It's just a remarkably fast way to keep your property looking fresh and modern.
All right, finally, let's get into Section 4, the investment, featuring a transparent pricing breakdown.
So, this straightforward pricing model totally takes the guesswork out of your budget. There's a base setup fee of around $3,500. Then for the first 250 square feet, you're looking at about $30 per square foot. But here is where it gets really attractive for larger properties. For large projects, that price actually drops to as low as $15 per square foot. Ultimately, your specific cost depends on the exact wall size, the surface texture, and the design itself. But this transparent scale really proves that durable, seam-free, custom art isn't just for a single boutique accent wall. It's a highly scalable, strategic investment for any size property looking to elevate its aesthetic. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one vital question. How will you use your walls to define your next unforgettable guest experience? The technology is completely seamless, there's zero operational downtime, and it genuinely turns your physical space into your most powerful marketing tool. So take a walk through your property today, look at those blank walls, and ask yourself how they could be working harder for you. Thanks so much for joining me.